seeing everyone coming in. Okay, welcome everyone. I'm just going to do a few quick introductions and we will get started on the webinar today. So my name is Kathy Pham and I'm a program associate for College-Bound Outreach from WASAC, and I'm joined by my amazing colleagues at WASAC, specifically the College Access Initiatives Division, and also with our amazing partners, the College Success Foundation, with the College-Bound Regional Officers, which you'll hear more from later on today. And this is really exciting because this is our first webinar of the year. And already we've had over 300 folks who have registered. In fact, I don't know if you could see, but currently we're joined by 142 folks. And I just want to say thank you so much for taking your time to come join us today. And we're just looking forward to, sharing more information about this wonderful program and share with you all the support and resources. Some of you may be new, some of you may be returning, but we definitely have new information to share as well as a review. But before we get started, I just have a few quick Zoom reminders. And we are recording this webinar. That's always the number one question that we get. So please make sure to mute yourselves and turn off your camera. And if you have any technical Zoom assistance that is needed, please direct chat Christina Winstead. She's the one who's managing our Zoom. So thank you so much, Christina, for doing that. And at the very end of this webinar, we will be answering your questions live. So if I could just direct your time to submit your questions in the chat. We do not have a Q&A function. We are going to collect all of your questions, and my colleague from WASAC, Rochelle, will read them out loud. And again, if we can't get through to all of the questions live, we will do our best to make sure we get out a question and answer document at the end of this webinar, sometime in a week and a half from now. And we will share the recording, the PowerPoint, and this Q&A document with everyone. So that way you have all the good resources at your fingertips. And if you ever need any follow-up or you have any follow-up questions, feel free to reach out to us. You're going to hear me say this a lot during the webinar, but we love to hear from you. So please connect with us. Again, our amazing partners at the College Success Foundation are here today, and we are so excited to get this started. Next slide, please. So just a reminder that clock hours are available for this webinar, and the information was emailed out earlier today, and is also available on the screen. They are through the ESD 113, so if that's of interest, please be sure to check that out. And thank you, Pablo, for popping the PD enroller in the chat so folks can access it. If you are watching this webinar with a group, please make sure to put your first and your last names in the chat so you're counted for your clock hours. We'll go ahead and review that, and we'll send it off to ESD 113 after the webinar so we can get a tally of those who actually attended. Next slide, please. Okay, so about WASAC, I'm just going to share with you a little bit about the organization I work for. We are a state agency, and we advance educational opportunities and attainment in Washington State through programs, policies, and partnerships. So College Bound is why we're all gathered here today. It is administered by WASAC since 2007, and policies under WASAC includes the regional challenge grants and more. And we also administer the WA 529, a college savings program through the state. So that's a little bit about us. Next slide, please. Okay, so we get this question quite a bit about, okay, from WASAC to OSBI to Washington Colleges to College Success Foundation, how do you all work together? And although I won't read out every single detail here, I just wanted to pinpoint that this visual shows how various organizations, schools, and agencies, how we all collaborate and partner to support Washington State students with college access and readiness. And today, I'm really excited because we'll highlight the support and resources from both the College Success Foundation's College Bound Regional Officers and WASAC's College Access Initiatives Division, which includes in that little blue box you see, College Bound, Wealthier Campaign, and Otterbot, our texting platform. So you're going to get a deeper dive into how this all works together, and again, how it works together to come and support you and the students and the communities you serve. Next slide. All right. To help you put a name to a face, I wanted you to meet the Wasatch's College Bound team. It consists of Pablo Rodriguez, Sean Moran, Rochelle Wise, and myself. And we're here to assist with navigating the WASAC portal, which I'll talk about in a little bit, answer your questions about College Bound, and support school staff and College Bound students and their families. Again, feel free to reach out anytime because there's a lot of good information and a lot of information that we'll be sharing, and I'm sure you'll have questions afterwards. Next slide, please. Okay, so some key takeaways. Today, we will be covering the following: the College Bound auto enrollment that was passed a few years ago, what it is and what it isn't, and an overview of the College Bound in general. So again, some of you may be new, some of you may be returning, but I promise that there are going to be additional resources, new resources available to help you, and next steps for supporting college-bound students. That's what we'll cover today. But before I do that, though, I'm going to hand it over to my colleague, Sean from WASAC, to run a quick poll so that we can learn more about who's with us in the room, the virtual room today. So Sean, please take it away.
Thanks so much, Kathy. Okay, so we're going to start a quick poll. You should have it appear on your screen. It's kind of just getting to know you. And I see that people are already starting. We'll probably take a good 30, 35 seconds, and then we'll close and get to know your familiarity with College Bound, as well as kind of how many years you've been in your current position. And so, oh, already looks like we got most people. Okay, I'll give it 6 more seconds. Okay, I'm gonna close the poll. Okay. So as we can see from this, quite a bit of people have been connected to College Bound over the years. And so over 60% of people have been working at their school for over a year and know of College Bound. And it looks like we have a few first years and then also some non-school staff. Thank you all for joining us. And Kathy, you can take it away.
Thanks so much, Sean, and thank you all for participating. It's so nice to know who's in the room with us. And again, there are just so many people here today, so thank you for taking that time. Next slide, please. So with this, I wanted to start with an overview of College Bound commitment. Again, just a deeper dive, but remember, College Bound is all about the state's commitment to students, and it works together with other state aid, usually the Washington College Grant, to cover the following: tuition at public rates, some fees, and a small amount for books. This is what we refer to as the college bound commitment, those three areas. And the great thing about College Bound is that it can be used at over 65 colleges and universities in Washington. This includes 2-year, 4-year public or private schools, career colleges, technical schools, and the array is just vast. And that's where it's so interesting for our students to help them plug into this. And just a
Kathy,
quick note.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but someone just posted in the chat that they need access to the slides to follow along. I'm not sure why they're not seeing them. Lisa, are you not seeing the slides?
Oh, okay. Thank you, Rochelle. If you see it on the slides, if not, we will definitely be emailing these slides out to folks who cannot, I mean, folks who did not attend and folks who are in attendance. So if you would like to, please reach out to Christina, direct chat her. And one of us on the panel will help you get access to these slides if it's an ADA accessibility concern. But we could definitely take a look at this. Yes, perfect. You got it. Okay, Lisa, we'll definitely provide this to you. And I don't know if one of the staff members could perhaps maybe post this on a Gmail and like on a Google link and send it out. Otherwise, if that's not possible, no worries. You'll get this presentation at the end. Thanks, Rochelle.
Thank you, Kathy.
And
Sorry about that interruption. I just wanted to
no
make sure
problem.
people could see.
No, I love that. Thank you. I'm glad you brought that up. So I wanted to just share a little bit about the College Bound commitment. And again, it works together. That's the commitment. And with a Washington College grant. And we have many schools that the students can choose from. I do want to note that we will be posting a new informational sheet explaining how the Washington College Grant and the College Bound funds work together, as this is a very common question we receive from school staff, college bound students, and their parents. So please be sure to sign up for our e-newsletter so you can stay updated on the latest information. And you will see that we kind of have a brand new logo as of last year, but we're really blasting it all over the place. But you'll see that we're moving away from the word scholarship. As mentioned earlier, College Bound is a commitment of state aid to eligible students, and it really doesn't function as a traditional scholarship. So we have seen a lot of confusion in previous years from students about this particular point. So that's why we're working away from materials, and even you'll see on our College Bound webpage regarding that. Next slide. So we still get a lot of questions regarding the eligibility and auto enrollment process. And I'm just going to break it down. And again, it's also a good refresher to those who are aware of it. But let's dive into what the eligibility and auto enrollment process is. Basically, enrolling in and receiving the College Bound Fund is a two-step process, like bookends. Step one is about signing up, the signing up requirements. And for public school students, this is based on FERPL eligibility in certain grade levels, particularly what you see on the slide here, 7th, 8th, and newly eligible 9th grade students. And foster youth in the state-run foster program are automatically enrolled from 7th grade through high school graduation. That's done through a partnership between WASAC and the Department of Children, Youth, and Families. Step two is about receiving the funds. And this happens during, after the student graduates from high school. And the students must fulfill what we call the College Bound Pledge. And I'm sure many of you may be familiar with it. So they must fulfill the College Bound and residency pledge, residency requirements. And you'll see that there's an image of a window which symbolizes that specific period for signing up and receiving college bound funds. And we get this a lot. It's 7th, 8th, or newly eligible ninth grade students to sign up. And if you are working with private or homeschool students, please have them contact our College Bound office to begin a College Bound application. They are not automatically enrolled. And I'm just going to go ahead and see. I just lost my train of thought. And so you'll see that on this slide, there are already listed some of the College Bound pledge requirements, but we're going to do a deeper dive in the next slide on the College Bound pledge requirements. So next slide, please. And again, I'm seeing questions coming through the chat. That is great. I just wanted to remind folks and encourage folks to use the chat to ask all of your questions. We will have plenty of time at the end of the presentation to go through your Q&A, so keep them coming. Thank you. So what is the College Bound pledge requirements? Again, this is just a quick review and reminder about some of the requirements we have for College Bound students to receive their funding. The first being they must graduate with a 2.0 GPA or higher if attending a 4-year public or private college directly after high school. So since fall 2023, the good news is that there is no GPA requirement for students enrolling in a CTC, Community Technical College, to get College Bound. Now, let's say if a student enrolls directly into a CTC with less than a 2.0 GPA and then transfers to a 4-year, they can still get College Bound provided that they meet other program requirements as well. So that's the good news with that. The other criteria is that students must enroll in any college within 1 year of graduating high school to meet the enrollment deadline. So for example, if a student graduates in June 2025, they have until fall 2026 to meet the college enrollment deadline. I wanted to emphasize that because that's kind of the window of time that they are eligible to receive the College Bound. They must make that College Bound funds. They must make that enrollment deadline. And as I spoken earlier, they must attend one of the 65 plus eligible Washington institutions to receive College Bound funds. Now, they'll have to complete the FAFSA or WASFA starting their senior year and every year that they're in college and meet income requirements. The 2025-2026 FAFSA and WASFA will be available December 1st, 2024, and more information to come later on in the slides about that. And last but not least, they must have no felony convictions. And as always, just a reminder, a bachelor's degree is still the highest degree a student can earn with College Bound. Next slide. I know you may be looking at this slide and it may be wordy, but I promise you I'm going to help break it down so it's as smooth sailing as possible. Remember that you will have these slides to refer to, so that's helpful. But I wanted to share with you, the big question is, how does auto enrollment process work? I've been here for 3 years and I still am learning something new every day, which is a great thing. All the intricacies, all the complexities. And I am just going to go ahead and share that I wanted to provide more clarity. And so the first thing is that auto enrollment focuses on public school students only, using OSPI data exchange and access to eligibility data. So step 1, or the first box that you see on the slide, students must be noted as FERPL eligible at public schools, which can be determined in many ways listed in the first box, including the Child Nutrition Eligibility and Education Benefit Application. Wow, that was a mouthful, I know. But if you hang on with me, we'll get there together. So starting in the 2024-2025 school year, this school year, the FERPL application and Family Income Survey have merged into this application, also known as CNEEB. And that's one way for folks to determine that they're eligible for FERPL. And other ways is that there's a process called direct certification that feeds in data from many other sources of program eligibility, as you can see in the first box. For example, there's SNAP, TANF, which helps note a student's eligibility for college-bound auto enrollment. And I added this slide in here this year because this is a question we get often, but it's important to understand the difference between when students are receiving FERPL meals at the schools and those who are FERPL eligible. So while a school may offer free meals to all students, only those identified as FERPL eligible can be auto-enrolled in College Bound. Okay, box 2, and this is going to be more smooth sailing. After a student is identified as FERPL eligible, there's something with the data reporting from the schools directly to OSPI. And basically, school reports the 2024-2025 enrollment data to OSPI via CEDARS. So this is enrollment data to CEDARS, and it happens periodically, starting in September, October of every year. And then after that, it is monthly reporting. So that's kind of the next step. The third step is data sharing. And now this is between OSPI to WASAC. So OSPI sends data to WASAC with a list of newly FERPL eligible students. And they're comprised of the 7th, 8th, and newly eligible 9th grade students that we had covered earlier. And if there's anything that you could leave with today, this is just one thing, but I'm just going to throw it out there and just say, remember the month of November for newly auto enrollment files. And we'll talk about this more in the next slide, because if you are one of the individuals who are reaching out and going, hey, I don't see many students on my list, or I expect to see more, it's all because of this data sharing and data reporting. And it just takes a few months to settle in, and we will get the enrollment data in November, which you will see your students then. Again, more to come in the next slide. So after the third step, the data sharing, OSPI to WASAC, what happens next in the auto enrollment process? Well, step 4, school staff portal users, updating contact information. So this is what I wanted to highlight in this slide, but student contact information isn't automatically included in OSPI files. So we rely on school staff, middle school and high school school staff who have portal accounts to update student and parent/guardian contact details in the WASAC toolbox, which we will talk more about later on. I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. So if you already have an account, or if you don't, we'll get to that next. We recommend doing this at least once a month to get into the toolbox, get familiar with your students, and regularly updating contact information. This will help you manage your list effectively. So there is a little box at the end, but this is kind of where I wanted to note, looking ahead and starting in spring 2025, yes, there will be changes. Changes to how we collect high school student contact information, which does not apply to middle school students. Again, I will share more in later slides. So at the very end, after we go through the whole entire process of that, right? The data sharing, the data reporting, the updating of contact information, how do students know about College Bound? Well, we at WASAC mail certificates to newly auto-enrolled students monthly. Now, as long as we're receiving contact information from school staff, we can make that early communication, early awareness. However, if we do not get that information, unfortunately, that information is left on the table. And, that's where we rely heavily on the school staff, and we partner and collaborate with you on this. And we will share more resources, information to how to make this a more effective and more efficient process. Next slide. Thank you. So a bit more on timeline. And this is a timeline overview for school staff. As there are 2 batches of college-bound students to manage. The first batch is your current college-bound students. It's available now in the WASAC portal, the toolbox. And the action you can take is you can regularly enter and update contact information for your current college-bound students and their parents right now, which is mostly comprised of 8th to 12th graders. And please note that WASAC receives weekly demographic updates from OSPI, including enrollment information, GPA, and more. So that's how we get students when they move from different schools, and we can talk about that later. The second batch, the batch number 2, is, remember that little kind of dinger where it is remember the month of November. The second batch is the newly auto-enrolled students for 2025, and that starts in November. So it starts in November of every year, but this year it'll be starting next month. And basically next month, you can begin entering and updating contact information for newly auto-enrolled students. Again, they're mainly comprised of 7th, 8th, and newly eligible 9th grades, 9th grade students. And note that WASAC receives monthly updates from OSPI for these newly auto-enrolled students. And the implication of this is that for those of you who are already using the portal, portal toolbox, expect an increase in students on your WASAC portal list due to these additions in November. So you're going to see a huge jump. And again, the confusion we see is why November? Why the delay? Why not in September or October, right? And we definitely hear you. So again, like I had mentioned, some schools may notice that students, particularly 9th grade students, do not appear at the start of the school year. Again, this is due to slight delays in enrollment data as districts enter their information into CEDARS and things start to settle down, because in the beginning of the school year, folks are still moving around. And this is a typical process. Again, every year in November, you will get that information, and that's when you'll see a jump or a spike in on your student list. So we will also be sending out email, like an email reminder to all college-bound students. To all college-bound champions when we get the first group of newly auto-enrolled students for this school year. So keep a lookout for that as well. If you're not on our new newsletter, you can sign up at the very end, and we'd love to keep in touch with all these resources and information. Next slide, please. Okay, as I mentioned, using WASAC's College Bound portal, it's called the Toolbox, and you can do this in 3 easy steps. The first step is account access. These are free accounts, right? We're a state agency. So most of you already, based on the poll question that Sean had launched earlier, have accounts. But if you do not have an account, please reach out to the email address listed on there. It's collegebound@wasac.wa.gov. And I do see that when you get these slides, you can actually click on that, the first circle that says email us here, and email us directly as well. But we'll also have our email address at the end, so you have plenty of opportunity to reach out to us. We have both school staff accounts as well as nonprofit accounts that can be set up. And each person using the toolbox needs their own account, as access should not be shared with others. Now, the second step to this is understanding the toolbox, and this is key. Again, we have so many resources available for you, but in the WASAC portal, we have the college toolbox, right? Where users can perform a variety of functions, including editing student contact information, downloading live reports of their college-bound students, and tracking student progress. These are just some of the many functions that you could actually do in this toolbox. And step 3 is managing your student list in the toolbox. So again, the toolbox allows you to view your college-bound student list. and it will also tell you who has bad addresses. If the student is on your bad address list, it means that they do not have the address listed, or we have an address listed that has resulted in returned mail. And we have multiple ways for updating contact information, and you can either click on the student's view details and update individually or use our bulk update feature. So again, please check out the QR code on this slide for the toolbox resources, in addition to the FAQs and the College Bound Toolbox video, which I will share with you for those who are visual learners. And I'll go ahead to the next slide. So let's take a look at the toolbox now. On your screen, you'll see a visual of what the toolbox looks like, right? And I want to highlight something important. The toolbox is not used for adding new students to the College Bound program. It's strictly for managing students who are already enrolled. So if you do believe a student should be in College Bound, remember they must be noted as eligible for free reduced price lunch, FERPL. And there are many methods that could be noted as well. Next slide. Okay, this is just a visual of additional toolbox resources. So you have your toolbox basics flyer, which is a resource available for you to review, and it can be especially helpful for new school staff members who may need access to the toolbox. To help you navigate the toolbox, we created a video tutorial that helps the ins and outs of the portal, helps you with the ins and outs. The tutorial is organized into different sections, making it easier for you to learn about how to best utilize its features. So please take some time to take a look at that video, as it will help guide you as well. And we are always here for you if you have any questions. Next slide, please. Okay, so perfect, thank you. We have consolidated the top questions and updated our FAQs for the College Bound portal users. And this is just a visual for those who wanted to take a look, but we have many FAQs for students, for portal users, for school staff, and we're trying our best to make it more efficient and effective for you. So take a look at our tips. And next slide, please. Okay, so after doing the review of the toolbox and the auto enrollment process, I wanted to talk a little bit about the changes, especially for this year. And some of you may have already heard of this, but there were two legislative updates that I wanted to share, and the first one being SB 5904. So what does this mean for college-bound students? Well, College Bound used to be a 4-year award that must be used within 5 years of high school graduation. So some of you might remember this example that is no longer valid, but I'm just using it to be helpful here. But it used to be that the class of 2023's College Bound funds will expire in 2028. However, with this bill, the good news is that the College Bound 5-year window is eliminated. Now, what this means is that college-bound students can receive college-bound funding for up to 6 years of enrollment, which doesn't expire if, a huge if, a student is enrolled in college within 1 year of high school graduation and meets other program requirements each year that they're enrolled. Remember, the other program requirements were mentioned earlier in the presentation, including the College Bound Pledge requirements, but meeting income eligibility, the enrollment deadline of, within 1 year of graduating from high school. So these are just some of the program requirements. And this bill is effective for the 2024-2025 school year, sorry. Another great thing about this bill is that it's retroactive, meaning that the college-bound 5-year window limitation is lifted even for students who have exceeded this 5-year window. To sum up this bill, again, students have up to 6 years to use their college-bound funds or get a bachelor's degree. And this all aligns with the maximum eligibility timeframe of the federal Pell Grant and Washington College Grant at 6 years. And we've heard this from concerned school staff members before. So in cases where students are enrolled in school part-time and might be working part-time or full-time to support their families, this bill helps to promote flexibility and encourages students to return to school and finish a post-secondary credential, whether it's a certificate, an AA degree, or a bachelor's. The next bill I'm going to talk about is SB 6053, which allows WASAC to receive Washington High School student information from OSPI directly. We touched upon this earlier, but this will help WASAC even more to continue sharing important information about the college-bound opportunity, financial aid, and education options after high school with students and their families. Essentially, this bill changes how WASAC gets information for college-bound high school students, and it's a big deal, especially for high school counselors and school staff who spend time updating high school student contact information as well as their parents. So the implementation date for this process is spring 2025. And again, we'll keep you all posted via our email listserv. So if you're new here, make sure to sign up again for the newsletter. Next slide, please. Okay, this is our call to action. While we wait for the implementation of SB 6053, please continue to update high school students and their parent guardian contact information using the College Bound portal, our toolbox. And again, by doing so, you will provide college bound students and their parents with that early access to WASAC's resources, which I will mention in the next slide, please. So what is WASAC doing to outreach to students? We make sure to use the contact information that you have provided to ensure that we can mail certificates to newly auto-enrolled students as quickly as possible. This way, they'll know about their college-bound commitment early on and begin considering their future career possibilities. It's essential to have this contact information. Without them, we can't deliver this important information to the students. So in addition, we develop high school level information campaigns that are emailed to both students and their guardians. These communications include important reminders and helpful resources, such as information on the FAFSA completion, which we'll talk about in a bit. We also send out mailings to remind students about College Bound and other tools available to them. And lastly, we collect student and guardian phone numbers to facilitate enrollment in OtterBot, our awesome texting platform designed to support college-bound high school students and their parents. So in just a few slides, my colleague Sam will provide more information on OtterBot and its impact. And we will get to that in just a bit. Next slide, please. Okay, so we thought it might be helpful for you all to see what materials are sent to newly auto-enrolled students. This has been asked before, and this gets sent out to those with initial contact. Either we get their addresses, or it's new addresses, it's their first address, right, after a few years. But we basically send them a letter from WASAC acknowledging their enrollment in the College Bound program, along with a certificate to celebrate this commitment. Next slide, please. Okay, so we've been receiving inquiries about creating templates for school staff who are supporting college-bound students. We've heard you, and we wanted to create something that will be used by you for your students. So this resource includes a letter that can be sent directly from a school counselor or staff member confirming a college-bound student's enrollment in the program. So why is this important? Because focus groups have indicated that students prefer receiving information from a trusted source or a messenger. And this personalized approach not only reinforces the connection with students, but can also enhance their engagement with the program as well. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to my colleague Sam to talk more about the OtterBot program. Thank you.
Thanks, Kathy. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sam Washington. I'm an assistant director with the College Access Initiatives team here at the Washington Student Achievement Council. As Kathy mentioned, I get the fantastic opportunity to share with you all our text messaging resource that we have for students here in Washington State. It is called OtterBot. It's a free platform for students across the state looking for additional support and resources for college going and accessing financial aid. It's designed to support college-bound students and parents and is open to any student that's looking for that support. The platform itself is AI informed, but it's also always person powered. So no information goes out without us making sure that it is vetted and accurate. There are a few different ways that students receive information from OtterBot. This includes proactive messaging that we've worked to outline given where students are at in their high school journey. There's reactive responses that come from a knowledge base of content that we at WASAC have vetted and continue to update and inform. And then there is also the opportunity for students to access information on demand using a couple of the different functions and features that are provided by the platform itself. Next slide, please. So we've had this program up and running for a few years now. We launched in 2019 with legislative funding. The technology is provided and supported by our vendor Mainstay, who helps us administer all of the information that is sent out to students. And originally, we started by serving just senior students with accessing financial aid. But as you can see, there are many, many more students that we've ended up supporting. This year, we've expanded our audiences to include 9th through 12th grade students, as well as their parents. So we have a parent bot that's available for parents to text into and get information specific to their role in students accessing financial aid resources. Next slide, please. So this is kind of the big slide that I want to spend a little bit more time on. This is kind of the meat and potatoes of OtterBot. There are a variety of different information buckets that we will support students on in their time on the platform. As I mentioned, we started out with financial aid, and that continues to be a huge resource that is provided through OtterBot. We help with anything from financial aid, FAFSA completion to WASFA as well, navigating different circumstances that students may find themselves in with submitting whether to federal student aid or to the institution as well, and then resources if things like appeal or reviewing award letters is necessary. The next bucket is for the admissions and enrollment piece. We all know that there are a variety of pathways students have the opportunity to choose from. And so day after day, year over year, we're continuing to add more resources with each of those pathways in mind, whether it's a 2-year, 4-year, tech trade, military, or straight into career. We want to make sure students have access to the resources they need to get into the pathways that most interest them. College going in general, just navigating that piece. We know it's a big shift going from the high school environment into a post-secondary environment for students. So making sure they understand that the world that they're walking into is full of a bunch of different terms and acronyms that are going to be important for them to know. So we try to give them definitions, dispel any myths that they may run into, also help them navigate their campus community and find the resources that they'll need to be successful. And then last but certainly not least, reminders and notifications. One of the big areas that students have let us know is helpful for them is this service being a reminder for them, whether it's regarding orientation or registration dates, making sure they register for classes, and also scholarship opportunities and priority dates and deadlines for applications. This service can help them be reminded of those important dates to keep in mind with everything else that they have going on in their lives. And the cool thing about how we've laid this out is that it's definitely with respect to where students are at in their high school journey. Over the past 2 years, we've had the opportunity to participate in grant research, and it has let us know that students definitely want the information relative to where they're at. So all of these buckets are approached with the student's grade level in mind, helping them be informed and educated about those resources all the way through preparing and applying for those different steps to access their post-secondary pathway. So the opportunity is available again to all students. As Kathy mentioned, this is fed into by the College Bound Scholarship Program. So making sure that contact information is up to date is the best way to get your students involved. And then you can also find some more materials and resources for students that want to opt in to receiving text messaging on the material order form and on the OtterBot website itself. So thank you for that brief period to share this opportunity with you. I think I'm passing it over to Melissa now.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Sam. And I am Melissa Pico. I'm one of the College Bound Regional Officers. Really happy to be here with you today. My colleagues and I from College Success Foundation, we want to talk to you a bit about what we do and how we can collaborate with all of you. So this is our WACAN team. We serve all of Washington State. We are small but mighty. And we're going to go around and introduce ourselves, starting with myself, Melissa Kaiulani Pico. I serve the Seattle-King County region for Washington State.
Hello, everybody. My name is Raul Sanchez, and I serve as the College Bound Regional Officer for North Central and Northeastern Washington regions with all of your college bound and financial aid needs.
Hi everyone, my name is Amber Goodrich. I am based out of Yakima and I serve Southeast and South Central regions of Washington.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kennedy. I'm based in Tacoma. I serve South Puget Sound and Southwest region. So that's kind of Tacoma down to Vancouver, a little bit out to the coast.
Wonderful. And then rounding out our team, we have Bree on the Northwest and Peninsula regions. And she is currently supporting her region as we speak, driving in the Marysville area. So shout out Marysville. You're going to see Bree around town very soon. And that is our WACAN team.
So what is a College Bound Regional Officer, you might be wondering? We're here primarily to support you in a variety of different ways. So our primary role is spreading college bound awareness. With auto enrollment, students might not know that they're eligible for this opportunity, especially if parents aren't having that vital conversation with students once that college bound certificate comes in the mail. So we try to bridge that gap. We can come to your school and we can do classroom presentations on college bound, or we can offer college bound training for you guys on how you can share this information with your students. Another big piece of what we do is financial aid completion. We work with students on creating FSA IDs or WASFA accounts and completing their applications. Please invite us to your schools where we can be another financial aid expert available to speak with students and parents to answer their questions. We can't promise that we'll be at every event as we have very large regions, but we'll do our best. So please keep us informed. That way we can get things on our calendars. If practitioners need extra trainings on, let's say, the new FAFSA, general financial aid, or other topics, we're happy to meet with you and schedule a training with either you or your small team. Please also visit our CSF website where you can find resources like Create Your Future with College Bound, which we'll go over more in depth later, or reach out to us for help regarding the College Bound portal. Basically, we are here to make your jobs easier. We do have monthly newsletters that we send out. We never want to spam your email, but we're just trying to get you vital updates, and we just want to connect with you. So please reach out. Thanks.
Your regional officers are excited to bring you a webinar series this spring about College Bound for those of you working with students and families. Think of this as a choose your own adventure for which webinar you wish to attend. The College Bound 101 webinar is focused on those just starting off in their new role, supporting students with College Bound. You'll be learning about the basics of College Bound, the sign-up process, and how students can use their College Bound after high school, and more. Our College Bound 201 is going to focus on best practices and actionable resources so you can better support your students and families involved with College Bound. We'll go over how to best utilize the Create Your Future worksheets, for you and your students. We'll also go over a checklist made for just school staff on various things to keep in mind when supporting college-bound students. As there have been so many legislative changes with College Bound program in the last few years, we're going to also be hosting a session that's focused on those changes, what it means for school staff involved with the College Bound program, and how to best support the students. Date and registration for these webinars hosted this spring will be provided later on in the academic year with more details to come.
All right, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our most brand spanking new resource here, and that's called Create Your Future with College Bound. So we've been really focused on how can we make resources that you can actually use, that you can use in your classrooms. The whole purpose is to create more of a college-going culture, while also increasing college-bound awareness at your site. So this is one of the main ways that you can do that. So we've got, it's like an educational curriculum here. They are downloadable. You can access each of the lessons online. There's 5 worksheets with activities to go along with them, as well as educator notes to kind of guide you on your facilitation. And no matter what your comfort level is with College Bound as an educator, you can lead and facilitate these lessons. So there's some that are geared towards the middle school level, some and most geared toward the high school level. So you can really parse through them to see which ones kind of best fit you, your needs, and your students. So there is a few different topics that it includes. You can see those on the right side. College Bound 101 review, explore your roadmap, fit and match, goal setting, and scholarship exploration. And like I said, all of them are student-facing activities with downloadable worksheets that you can print, give out to students, and they all have educator notes to guide you through the facilitation. You can use them at any year, and they are here ready and available for you. And I'm ready for the next slide. We'll go ahead and provide you with a link to access them. You could see it kind of in that bottom left side of the screen. We shortened it to a bit.ly, but when you click on that link, it'll bring you to, this page here. We put a screenshot of it so you can see. What you'll want to do is check out that Create Your Future with College Bound Materials tab. Underneath there is the student materials listed and the educator materials just right there for you. 5 different worksheets with activities to go along with them. And of course, all of the CBROs are here to answer any questions that you might have. We're hoping that this is, a good resource that you can put to use in your schools. So I hope you will enjoy that.
Okay, so you may be wondering, as some of you have asked in the chat, how do I contact my CBRO, as we call ourselves? So here is some contact information for all of us. I know a couple of them have already been posted in the chat for those of you that asked. But again, we also have a neat little bit.ly for this. I'm kind of the one on the team that just bit.lys everything because it just makes more sense for my brain that doesn't take in verbal information. So if you are looking for our information, you can go to the WACAN team bit.ly. You can screenshot this. You'll also be sent this presentation afterwards, and it's being recorded. So hopefully you can get our contact info. And for any general questions that you aren't sure who to contact, you can also reach out to our main WACAN email at info@wacan.org.
Thank you so much to our CBROs for the incredible work that they are doing to provide support across Washington State. So please don't hesitate to contact one of your CBROs for one-on-one support. And next, I'm really excited to share some additional WASAC resources that are available for free to support you in this important work. So don't forget about our College Bound webpage. You can find downloadable flyers, templates, and order hard copy brochures and swag. And again, for all you visual learners, here are just a few of our printable resources. You have your middle school and high school intro flyers. It's available in 13 languages, and these flyers guide college-bound students and families through the scholarship basics. We also have our college-bound student and family presentation that we co-developed with the C-Pros on. And this PowerPoint is perfect for presenting to middle school and high school students and their families. It's available in English and will soon be available in Spanish on our webpage. The other thing I wanted to highlight over to the right that you may or may not be able to see is what's called the College Bound Informational Template for your school's webpage. So basically, we're encouraging this template to be used to ensure up-to-date and accurate college-bound information is shared with students on your school or organization's webpage. You know, things might change yearly, so we just want to make sure we will be updating this every year so you can have that. Please consider adding this new language on your webpage. The other thing you see here as well down below in the middle is our college-bound myths and facts for students and their families. And it's not on here and will be posted soon, but we're revamping our College Bound, how to access College Bound funds. Again, this is a longer flyer for College Bound high school seniors and their parents. So again, as you can see, many resources, support available to you. And go ahead to the next slide, please. I am really excited to announce this body of work that has been in development for I think over a year now. So thank you to the WASAC team for working on this. But we have new short animated videos to help you and your students understand the College Bound program. You spoke, we listened. Somebody had mentioned, hey, you know the Washington Grant, animated videos? Can we have one for College Bound? Well, here you go. There are videos available in English and Spanish, and we have a total of 5 videos available in each language. And each video is about 1 to 2 minutes long. And to actively engage your college-bound students, please use the video student learning outcomes and discussion questions that we have to the right, which you can find on our College Bound webpage. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that we have our Spanish version of the video student learning outcomes and discussion questions. So we're always taking a look at developing new resources or updating our materials to really fit your needs and your community's needs as well. Next slide. Okay, and this is also exciting new development. We have a College Access Initiatives material order form. So basically, it's an order material form for OtterBot, College Bound, and 12th Year campaign at the same time. Just a few heads up that orders are processed weekly and take about 2 to 4 weeks to arrive. And also please coordinate with your school and district staff when placing orders. And one thing that we're noting is that we're encouraging folks to complete the entire order form and press submit at the end. Otherwise, your entry will not get submitted to us. So feel free to check out our amazing material order form. And again, this is swag, brochures, materials, postcards, pens, and they're all free because we're a state agency. And go ahead to the next slide. So many of you may be aware of this workbook, which is an invaluable resource that guides students through planning and preparing for college. It's organized by grade level and subject area and is available in multiple languages. You can also visit 12th Year Campaign website to download these materials or to even order hard copies in English or Spanish. But the exciting part about this is that new for this year is that the workbook is now accompanied by new student lesson plans with educator notes. So I just wanted to take a moment to thank those who worked hard to develop these lesson plans to enhance the student experience, and really excited to have y'all check this additional new resource out as well. Next slide. Okay, the amazing 12th year campaign staff, Yasleen Torres Pena and Christina Winstead, they lead this work, the 12th year campaign. And so for those of you on this call who are working with high school students, the 12th year campaign provides free training, materials, and other resources, videos, templates, etc., to support your work with high school students and their families through the admissions and financial aid application process. Many materials are available in multiple languages, so please be sure to check out this link, or you can scan the QR code. And next slide, please. While we're on the topic of financial aid, I wanted to share with you just a reminder that in December 2024, the 2025-2026 FAFSA and WASFA will be available. And another quick reminder is that the class of 2025 will be completing the 2025-2026 FAFSA or WASFA using their 2023 income information. So this is useful information, and I hope you can share it once you get this slide as well. Next slide, please. So here are some key changes to be aware of. And the questions on the 2025-2026 FAFSA will mirror those from the 2024-2025 FAFSA, and the WASFA will continue to mirror the FAFSA as well. Also, federal student aid is developing new tested resources to support completion efforts. There are also some flexibilities from the 2024-2025 application that will be extended for 2025-2026. And if you would like to learn more about the changes, please subscribe to the Padlet for updated alerts. You can scan the QR code here. And there are additional support and training available, which I will share soon. Next slide, please. This is just a visual of what the Padlet looks like. And again, these resources will assist you as you plan your financial aid advising day, FAD, and support students with their financial aid and admissions applications. Just a wonderful resource to have. You can even bookmark this, and I know that I use it quite a bit as well. Next slide, please. So whether you are new to financial aid or need a refresher, these trainings are definitely for you. So WASAC will lead virtual and in-person trainings this fall that will go more in depth. I saw something in the chat, somebody asking about training. So please feel free to attend this. We'll basically go into depth on financial aid changes. So trainings are available in English and Spanish, and coming soon, training to support special populations. Keep a lookout for that. So please join us. You know, we're always looking for folks to come to our webinars and our spaces. In fact, this Thursday, October 10th, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., there's still some seats left for the financial aid navigation session. During the session, participants will learn about the financial aid process and how to help others navigate applying for financial aid, including assisting students and training others. Again, check out the QR code for more information, and we would love to have you there. Next slide, please. Okay, we are almost done with our power presentation, and then we'll get to the questions. So I'm going to have give some time for Rochelle to perhaps organize that. Thank you, Rochelle. But the next slide is our WASAC Wednesday. So another way to get support is by stopping by virtually at our WASAC Wednesday, and it's held the first Wednesday of every month from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And think of it like a drop-in session. It's open office hours with WASAC staff about financial aid, College Bound, the Washington College Grant, OtterBot, and so much more. So we hope you, again, take advantage of this opportunity. Like I had mentioned earlier in the slides, we have so many resources and so many support for you. Next slide. And I promise we're almost done. So FAFSA completion status, let's discuss this. As many of you may recall, the FAFSA completion status column is no longer present on the College Bound portal. This change is in compliance with the newer data sharing regulations from the U.S. Department of Education. So it's important to note that you can still find the FAFSA completion status in the FAFSA completion portal. And if you need access to this, please reach out to the email listed here. Also, it's fafsa@wasac.wa.gov. And for those hoping to find their college-bound student, college-bound application is mentioned as a column in the FAFSA completion portal. This column is based on the OSPI file received on current expected graduation year seniors. And last but not least, additionally, nonprofits that serve the entire senior class at a school can receive FAFSA completion portal access. FAFSA portal staff will work with the nonprofit staff to ensure they meet the necessary components for FAFSA completion portal access and will assist with the data sharing agreement process as well. So again, if you have any questions or need access, please reach out to fafsa@wasac.wa.gov. And next slide. If you have a few minutes, we are looking, WASAC is looking to improve our resources, and your feedback would be so important. So please take a moment to complete our 10-minute anonymous survey, and your input will help us enhance our support for high school counselors. The survey will close in 1 week in October, on October 15th. So share your insights, and the cool thing is enter for a chance to win a $50 gift card. Again, thank you again for considering to take this survey, and we hope to hear from you. And we're about to wrap up on our presentation. We just have a few more slides. Again, just a reminder that clock hours are available for this webinar. The information was emailed out earlier today and is available on the screen. Again, they are through ESD 113, so be sure to check that out if you are interested. And next slide, please. We are coming to an end on our PowerPoint presentation, but we still have time for Q&A. So basically, I know that we shared a lot of information today, great information, and hopefully y'all can use it every single bit. And for our next activity, we borrowed this from OSPI, but it's called a waterfall activity to close today's webinar. And it would be great to have you take a few moments to think of something you will bring back to your school or your organization to use this fall or sometime this school year, and type it in the chat. But don't hit enter just yet. We're going to do it all together as one group. So again, taking a moment to hear and think through about what you learned today, something new, a best practice, or somebody to collaborate with, like the C-Bros. And as you type that in, I'll give y'all just maybe a few more seconds, 10 seconds. And then we will hit enter, but not yet, not quite yet. I'll give it about a few more seconds for folks to wrap their minds around a word, a takeaway that they'd like. Okay. If you have it all there, go ahead and hit enter. hit enter and let's see what we are seeing in the chat. And I'm going to scroll all the way down because I cannot see. Okay, I'm seeing the workbook. Okay, create your future with the college bound worksheets. This is great. Collaboration opportunities with the CBROs. I love that. The workbook, FAFSA support. Yes, that is key. We have a lot of FAFSA support and WASFA support this year. I'm just taking a look. And if you haven't entered it in, go ahead. Autobot advertisement, great. We have a lot of free flyers and postcards for students and families. Awesome. College bound support. This is wonderful. Supporting students entering college for the first time. I know I can't read it all, but I would love to, go through this. And in fact, after this webinar, when we put together a Q&A document, we'll go ahead and share this out so you could see from your colleagues around the state what they have learned from today. Yay, 6 years to use college bound funds. All right, keep them coming. And as we do that, I'm just going to go ahead to the next slide, please. I just wanted to take a moment to, ask y'all for a favor. If you have some time to please share your thoughts, comments on our brief post-webinar survey, um, that would be great. There's also an opportunity to request specific follow-up from either CSF, the CBROs, or WASAC on anything you have questions about. So don't worry, this is just the beginning of many interactions. Again, we have spaces and materials for you and hoping to continuously interact, collaborate, and partner with you on this. So I'm going to leave this, if you could go ahead and take and scan the QR code or go ahead and type that link into a browser so you could save that. Again, we will also be sending out this slide recording in a Q&A document about a week or a week and a half after this webinar. So you have time to still submit your survey. And as we do that, I just wanted to go to the next slide, please. Contact us with any questions you have. We are a small but mighty team, and we are looking forward to always connecting with you, like I had mentioned earlier. And one of the easiest ways to do that, honestly, is to sign up for our newsletter. I wish I could see everyone's faces to see how many folks have already signed up for our e-newsletter. And if you have not, please take the opportunity to do that. That's how you get the latest and greatest information updates on our resources and materials. Our website is another great resource as well, but also you can also email and call us. We, again, would love to hear from you, and I'll keep this slide up there just for a while. So you can grab the QR code if you'd like. And last but not least, we just want to thank you. So thank you from the College Success Foundation, CBRO, and WASAC teams. And again, we are here to support you. This is just a picture of us when we gathered this past summer. And again, we're looking to collaborate with y'all. I think we have, I'm going to kind of bounce it back to Rochelle to see where we are with the questions. We have 15 minutes left for questions. I know there were a lot of questions. So again, if we cannot get through to all of them today, no worries. We will send out a Q&A document in about, again, a week and a half from now. So Rochelle, I am going to hand it back to you. But again, thank you all for being here. In case those folks have to leave early, just wanted to thank you for spending time with us this afternoon. Rochelle, are we good on the questions?
Yeah, there were quite a few, so I don't know that we'll get to all of them. Just a few clarifying ones that I saw in the chat before I pass them off to others. What's FRPL? Kathy kind of mentioned it real quick. It's free or reduced price lunch. That's what that stands for. So it's free or reduced price lunch at your school. The other one is, what is a CTC? CTC stands for Community and Technical Colleges. And another thing I wanted to clarify, when we talked about receiving contact information and relying on you guys to update your bad addresses, we do not receive contact information for newly enrolled students. So those 7th and 8th and newly enrolled 9th graders, we rely on you as staff to enter that information for us. So you're going to see a huge influx of bad addresses in November on your bad address list. Don't be alarmed. It's just that there's a bunch of new students without contact information. And if you can update that, that would be great so we can get those certificates out to them. You're also going to see new ones each month because we do get newly enrolled students every month. So just be sure to check it each month if you can. If you have an hour or so, you might not even need that much time. Some schools might not see anybody, but some schools may have more, those bigger districts. So just wanted to touch on that as well. The new contact information we will receive from OSPI in the future is just for high school students. Okay, with all of that said, I think one of the biggest questions we got a few people asking about is how do private and homeschool students get signed up for College Bound? How do they know about College Bound? Sarah, do you want to touch on that?
Yeah, let me make sure I can navigate to. Yes, you can hopefully see me now. Hi, everyone. Sarah Weiss, Director of College Access Initiatives at WASAC. Great question. Pablo on our team works hard with anyone who is interested in getting students signed up to the program. That's how it needs to work with private school and homeschooled students because there isn't that pool of eligibility like there is with public school students. But we do outreach, mailings, emails, campaigns to those schools, to private schools and homeschools, to try, not homeschool, but on our website, there's a homeschool section, but to private schools to try and encourage ordering of our materials. And then we can work with the school and or individual students and families on their application to ensure that eligible students are meeting the requirements. And so it's not necessarily about receiving free and reduced price lunch, but being eligible and meeting that income threshold. So absolutely want to support our private and homeschooled students through the application. Just reach out to us.
Thank you, Sarah. Another one that we got quite a few questions about is the newly eligible 9th graders. So one thing is, can you clarify what that means? And then why can students not sign up after 9th grade? And what should they do with those high school students that come to them later and want to sign up for College Bound?
Yeah, absolutely. So let me make sure hopefully I'll get the whole question. If I don't, Rochelle, keep me honest on
No,
making
that's
sure
okay. It was multiple
great.
questions.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah. So newly eligible is stated actually in the statute, the College Bound statute, the law, as a student who was in Washington schools in middle school, but was not eligible for free and reduced price lunch as a middle school student, but is newly eligible now as a 9th grader. And it's a very, as I've just described, a very limited subset of 9th grade students. That being said, as you noted, Rochelle, and as I'm sure the person asking the question was thinking about, there are students who move to Washington in 9th grade or 10th grade or 11th grade. And unfortunately, due to the structure of College Bound, they wouldn't be eligible to sign up for College Bound beyond that structure that we've mentioned. However, there is this amazing program that Kathy talked about called the Washington College Grant, or WA Grant, which continues to be expanded, serve more students, increase the income thresholds, and increasing aid eligibility as well. And so I would encourage you, if there is a student who comes to you later than that College Bound sign up process timeline, to encourage them to look at the WA Grant, and there's not an additional application for that. When they apply for financial aid with the FAFSA or WASFA, they would be noted or reviewed by the aid office at the college for their income eligibility.
Thank you, Sarah. Another one is, sorry, I'm looking. So maybe you can answer both of these at the same time. Can we expand access to students with GEDs? And if a student has a cumulative GPA of 1.5, would they still qualify if they enroll in a community college?
Yeah, thanks, Rochelle. So the GED piece, there is actually a very specific subset of students that can earn a GED and receive College Bound. They have to have been automatically enrolled via the foster youth pathway that we mentioned, the data exchange we have with DCYF. So if you have a student in foster care, encourage them to reach out to us. We can talk to them about their options, but expanding the GED beyond that subset of students would require a legislative change. And regarding the question about a 1.5 or honestly any GPA below a 2.0, students can attend a community or technical college and receive college bound, provided they meet the other program requirements without that 2.0 GPA requirement. That was a new legislative program change last year that allows for students to attend a community or technical college, or CTC, or trade school that's eligible, any of those programs without that 2.0 GPA. Now, if they decide to transfer after they get their AA or something like that, and they did not have a GPA of 2.0, they can still transfer and get college bound. It's just that entry point that requires a 2.0 for a direct to 4-year.
One question I'll answer real quick that we got quite a few of was if students are auto-enrolled or enrolled in college bound at any point, do they stay enrolled? Do they have to stay on free and reduced lunch throughout school? Yes, they stay enrolled all the way through high school, regardless of their free and reduced lunch status. It's again, when they go to college is when they'll be reevaluated for eligibility. So I just wanted to make that clear to everybody that once they're in the system, they're in the system and they will not be removed unless they ask to be removed. Now, we do have maybe a handful each year that do ask to be removed from the program. So make sure you're checking your list before you're talking to students. We want to make sure that they're actually on your list because we have had maybe, like I said, maybe 5 each year that say, hey, I don't want to be part of this. So they can ask to be removed, but otherwise they will not be removed by us. We got quite a few questions about foster youth, Sarah. One of them was if they're adopted out of foster care, are they still eligible? I'm not sure.
Happy to address
Okay.
that for sure.
I mean, I know the answer, but I'm not sure what they're quite asking, but
Yeah, so it kind of depends on when. And so again, there are a couple points that of when matter. And so the first one, in terms of being automatically enrolled because they're in foster care, that happens, as Kathy mentioned, at any point if they're in foster care from 7th grade up to high school graduation. And so if they were adopted out of foster care before 7th grade, they would not be automatically enrolled. Now, if they're adopted after the age of 13, they still may be auto-enrolled, but they would be considered an independent on the financial aid application due to financial aid application policy. And so they likely would still be eligible to receive receive college bound. So hopefully that answers the question and kind of gets at what you're looking for. But feel free to reach out to us if you have additional questions.
The other foster youth question was, even if they're in foster care for a day or two, do they still qualify to be auto-enrolled?
Yes.
Thank you. We receive the information from DSHS, so that's who we rely on it for. So if we get it from them, then they're auto-enrolled. Do unaccompanied minors fall into the same category as foster youth? Oh, you're muted, Sarah.
I
Sorry.
unmuted and then mute, sorry. And so the statute right now is pretty clear. It's students who are in state foster care program, because that's who the Department of Children, Youth and Families, DCYF, has access to their information. So an unaccompanied homeless youth wouldn't necessarily be auto-enrolled through that, yet they're likely being directly certified eligible for free and reduced price lunch, perhaps. And so that might be another avenue that they might be noted as eligible to be auto-enrolled as well.
So we had a couple questions, and I can answer this one about the enrolling within 1 year. So one of them was specific to a foster youth. Does the foster youth have to enroll within 1 year? Any college-bound student has to enroll within 1 year. Now, that can be receiving credits through Running Start, through college and the high school. It can be enrolling in a college anywhere in the United States and receiving financial aid or college credits. So there was also a question about what's the difference between enrolling in 1 year, but then they have to enroll in a college-bound college to receive the funds. So they can enroll in any college in the United States within 1 year. That counts as the enrollment deadline, but they can't receive college bound unless it's at a participating institution. So they can go out of state and then come back and use college bound at that participating institution. I hope that helps to clarify that question. Sarah, do you have anything to add to that?
No, the framing really, I say no, and then I keep talking. But the framing you talk about, Rochelle, is like the clock, the enrollment deadline is like a clock, like that kicks off their ability to receive it. But I think you did. That's the info.
All right,
So great, thanks.
We got asked again, if a family makes more money during one of the years, are they still eligible? Like I said, as long as they're in the college bound system, they stay in the system throughout high school. It doesn't matter if they fall out of free and reduced lunch eligibility. It doesn't matter if they make more money. What really counts is when they go to college, they're going to be checked based on their FAFSA or WASFA information. That's the eligibility piece. So that's the income they're going to use, whatever's provided on that. You'll find your list. I just got asked this, so I'm just going to say it real quick. You'll find your list of college-bound students in the portal. I don't know if Sean or Pablo wants to add that information one more time into the chat about how you can ask for portal access. You do need access to our college-bound portal, and Sean takes care of that. And once you email us for that, Sean can give you directions if he needs more information, or he can set that up for you. I think that's about it in general for the college bound questions. I know we're running out of time. So I want to make sure that we get to other categories real quick. And again, these Q&As will be posted on our website within the next week or two. So you'll have a list of all of them with the answers. So if yours didn't get answered or you still have questions, please refer to our website for that. So Sean, some toolbox questions. When will the portal be updated? And I know we touched on that, but if you wanna mention that again.
Yeah. So one of the things is the toolbox is based on information we receive from OSPI through CEDARS. We receive weekly lists, demographic updates are what they're called, from OSPI. As mentioned by Kathy, auto enrollment happens in November. Throughout September and October, districts are still updating their enrollment records into CEDARS. So you may still have students who are not appearing. They may be appearing with the last grade. So 8th grade last year, now they're 9th grade. So that might be going on. And also you may have students who are still in the system that need to leave. This will usually update as soon as CEDARS is updated. And typically, most districts have to have their beginning year enrollment records by the end of October. So October is where we see a lot of the information getting updated.
Thank you. And real quick, I know we're out of time. If you have to go, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate all of you. If you can hang on for a couple more minutes, we just have a couple more questions. Again, these questions will be on our website. Sean, I know this is when we get asked quite a bit, even outside of this webinar. So I want to ask it. It did get asked in the webinar. Why is there a discrepancy between the Skyward College Bound list and the WASAC College Bound list?
Yeah, so one of the major differences is your list may have information from they were enrolled a year ago, and you know that for certain. But now through it's possible that the exit codes have been inputted through CEDARS. So maybe the students are no longer showing up on your list because they may still have an exit code. That does happen sometimes. The other thing is that it's something that you might want to check with your CEDARS person as well to ensure that SIS, the school information system, or Skyward, is matching the CEDARS file. Because sometimes if students get if they're listed as being low income or FRPL, that doesn't necessarily mean that they qualified and were enrolled in college bound. So it's very crucial, that piece of when were they listed as FRPL eligible, and did we receive them through auto enrollment from OSPI? So that can be a crucial aspect too.
Thank you. Another question real quick is, if the student's not at your school anymore, should you let us know? Just a reminder, we get all of our information from OSPI. We cannot change it. We cannot do anything with it. It's what we get. So if they're not at your school anymore, just hang on tight. Eventually OSPI is going to get that information and they'll fall off your list. You can just ignore them in the meantime. And I apologize for kind of a messy list, but we can't remove them. So I just wanted to let you know that. I did see a quick question about sharing information as well, and we've had that. I had that question earlier too. Is it safe to assume they can share information with WASAC? What if the family has opted out of sharing contact information? Sean, do you have an answer to that?
I have a bit of an answer, but also, Sarah, if you want to give more detail, please feel free to. But in terms of basics of data sharing, one important thing is we're not necessarily like an external sort of organization. We are considered an agency that can receive directory information. We work with OSPI to ensure that we're getting the updated lists. Now, some districts may have certain policies in place, and so it's important to recognize what your district says for contact sharing and how that might influence things. But overall, this would fall under FERPA in terms of just directory level information. And if they are opted out of sharing any information, such as if they have a high class data sharing restriction, something like that, maybe circumstances, then I believe we would not receive that. I was going to check with Sarah though on that one, but there are some people with certain circumstances, but
Yeah, I mean, it really depends, Sean, I mean, because we probably still receive their enrollment information to auto enroll them, but their contact information, again, right now, for all students, relies on partners in the K-12 system, and so it's who you're able and to share with us. And again, as Sean mentioned, it's directory information, but also there are instances where students may have confidential holds or something like that placed on their records, and then that would be your district policy.
And thank you, Sarah, for mentioning that. Usually in the system, it will have some sort of alert notification so that you are aware that they have a hold of sorts on their directory information. So, but yeah, following district policy is crucial.
Thank you. I think that's all the questions. We did get asked quite a bit about how to reach out to their CVROs. Again, that was shared in the chat, the link to find the page for their contact information so you can find your CVRO. I know some of them replied directly to the people, so thank you so much for that. But I think that's about it. And the rest of the questions, if there's any, we will just address them in the Q&A on the website. So make sure you check our website. We'll also have this presentation on there. We will have the slides. So if you have any questions, as Kathy said before, just reach out to us at our email address or give us a call. It's right there on your screen. We're happy to help anytime we can, any way we can, anytime. So just reach out to us and we try to get back to you within 1 business day. So I just wanted to let you know that. Thank you again, all of you, for joining us. We appreciate you, and I'll pass it back to Kathy.
Thank you, Rochelle, and thank you everyone for the questions. We will be providing the email list, the CBROs, so they'll also plan to reach out to y'all to make that connection. And again, thank you to my CAI colleagues and CSF partners for preparing and presenting this. And I just, again, so appreciate everyone's time. Please enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk soon. Thank you.